All right, we're streaming. I'm gonna share the link via all of the outlets.
Are you live right now, Rick?
Hello, YouTube. Hello.
I'm so glad I made this one. Last time I missed your TA.
Oh,
upset. What's up, man?
Well,
how you doing, Rick?
Everyone's gonna have a chance to chip in some TA if they so choose, if they want to take the floor and all that. I'm gonna be selfish and do mine first. Yeah. Okay, come on, homepage. Where is this stream?
I went to sleep with heartburn last night because of you, Rick.
Oh shit! What happened?
Because of Rick with all the tomatoes, and then I'm like, oh my god, I want some tomatoes. So I diced like fucking 3 of them with onions and the balsamic and all that, and I went to bed. What, half an hour later? Oh boy.
No good. That's no good, mate. All right, let's post this link at everyone. Whoop. I'll do a soft launch in Plus One, and then I'll do a hard launch in my server. General.
Qui-Gon, do you remember the cat with the deep scalp that you're like, how is that a cat? So it goes all the way down like that. That's your 5-minute cat at the moment. You can see it. Left ear, deep scalp, right ear, body down. Your body down is split in an M like we did previously. Do you remember we said, watch for the cat's ass down. It's split in half. It's 2 humps. You're still on the same pattern. So if you follow the last one, you're going to have your tail up again.
I'll post in yours as well, Jedi Trading YouTube videos.
Jedi.
Food. Oh, actually, I don't want to add everyone because I've already done that once. People will get upset. There we go. All right, we'll wait for a few people to roll in. There's 3 people viewing right now. I'm getting nervous.
Well,
it says no data. How come it says no data?
There's no data.
It should be data. Data.
Just watch. You just have to say cat 3 times.
Here we go.
Cat, cat.
Now it's working.
Cat. That's 4 times. Shit.
Good connection. There we are. 4 people. Johnny.
Hey, fam.
Johnny Sevenfold says, "Sup, Rick? Good to see you again. You too, brother."
Oh, Johnny.
Blake says, "How's
Johnny,
it going, Rick?
Steven, nice to meet you.
An update. Been waiting. I thought it said been waiting for an uptrend. Me too. Nah. Been waiting for an update. Yes, it's been like over a month. It's been like since the 3rd of September. So I've been very lazy with updating. But Bitcoin's been lazy too. Have you noticed that? There hasn't even been any like macro progress really. It's still within the wedge. It's still doing its thing and not giving us any answers just yet. I jumped down on the micro time frame. I'm sharing it in Discord as well if you want to see what the hell I'm talking about. I saw this little micro rising wedge, so that was like kind of telling of what this little leg down is. I'll do a little Fibonacci on this because this is like micro chart, you know, small time frame. See if it's gonna hit any of these levels. So we got a 382 test would test this one, less likely. A 0.5 turbo's favorite, that is highly likely as like a potential. And look at that, it would be an SR, so there's resistance. It'd become an S potentially as a support. That's 61,600. 61.6. And also, okay, there's a couple of tests there. That's like the golden pocket resistance level if it was to come down and do a deeper test. But that's micro. This is like a 5-minute chart. I don't think that's even like gonna have much bearing on what's gonna happen next, you know? 5-minute kind of gets its results a lot faster, and it doesn't have a long-lasting effect. Oh wow, it's telling me do I want to remove it or not because it's locked. I'll say yes. All right. Let's jump up to the daily and have a look at that, because yep, we definitely obviously busted out of that trend line there, that orange one coming down there. Market structure wise, I know I went over this with you guys like a couple of days ago, even yesterday maybe. We had there's the all-time high, right? That white circle. Then we had lower high, equal lower highs, another lower high. But recently we technically changed the character. So we had a change of character, a choc, or is it choch? I can't remember how they say it in the indicators. There's an indicator that outlines where a change of character happens. But anyway, right here was a change of character. So we changed the character from a downtrend to an uptrend. We've got a series of lower lows as well. Like all of these are lower, like all these major pivots are lower than each other, bar this one. This is when this wasn't a change of character, because remember the character of a downtrend is defined by the highs. But when you've switched, when you're in an uptrend, your uptrend's defined by the lows, so you want to keep them intact. So we've got our lowest low here, the local lowest low. We've now got a higher low that we're working with, and now potentially another higher low. It's not confirmed yet, like this could just be a dead cat bounce and we come down again. But the last line of defense to keep this potential change of character alive or intact is that we have to maintain this level, which is 52,000. Let's just round it out to 52,500. Let's just say that. But it's that low that we got back on the 6th of September. So it's been a month. This is what we've achieved in a month. Like all of that price action there. It's not too bad. It's a good start. But we are still, like I said, in the falling broadening wedge. So there's been no progress yet. And that's kind of why I haven't really done much as far as updating. There hasn't been a hell of a lot to talk about. We're still, macro-wise in this wedge. Obviously, the month has been good. Like September was a really good month for being.
Wait, can you repeat that?
Yeah, September was a really good month for being a bull.
Hear that, Max?
Yeah. So now we've had this okay, this was the end, the arse end of Q3 as well. This last little uptick was just the final farewell party to Q3. We've just started Q4. We've just started with a hangover of that party, right? And we just have to see where the dust settles. How long are we going to have a headache into Q4? Hopefully not long, because we are getting support off the big round number of 60K. That's a good reason to bounce. Is there any macro fib levels that we should be sort of paying attention to for support? Like, I know this is a run. This right here, let me draw it out. We had this low to this high. And if I just bring it across, let's go 250. Oh, that's still not enough. It's been so many days, it's crazy. So now so the 0.5 has been tested. It was really, really well tested here. That was a good reaction. It even coupled with an inverse head and shoulders. That was cool. And I'm just gonna do some kind of investigation as to do we have any kind of setup for another push up. This was a deeper test of the 0.5, as was sort of that. This was actually middle of the road. That actually came, this one here, this liquidity grab, this vector candle recapture, whatever you want to call it, came down and penetrated through the golden pocket. Like, that was a deep retracement. But look at the rebound this is all part of, like, you could argue, I know we need Vivamort in here for the head and shoulders analysis, but the inverse head and shoulders nature of this is like, you know, kind of breaking out. I don't know, like this last few days has been kind of frustrating to see the progress of what could have been a nice inverse head and shoulders. The thing with also the thing with head and shoulders for me is, let me take it off auto so I can just go to a blank part just so I can describe something. To me, like, let's say this is a rally, right? And then you get a high, a pullback, a higher high, a pullback to the same level, a lower high. That, to me, that's a classic head and shoulders right there. Like that, just there. And it comes off the back of an uptrend. So there's a clean neckline there. That's typical, right? And if we invert the chart, you get the inverse head and shoulders. It's coming off the back of a violent or some kind of downtrend. And it's a pivot, it's a reversal. You know, with the head, the top of the head being the reversal pivot point. So with that in mind, like, how does that differ from what we're getting right now? Is that, I don't know, man, like this, if we're calling that an inverse head and shoulders, it's not really coming up from all the way up here, you know, like it's a bit of a mess. It's not a very clean, typical inverse head and shoulders, I don't think. This one, I would say, is more qualifies as one, because you can see it comes from like a relatively high point and falls, and you had a clean neckline to sort of mark out the measuring point, you know, the measured move target of up here. But yeah, this is a bit of a mess. It's not very tidy. It's like it's only coming from the neckline. It's not dropping from a higher point. It's coming from up here, like the neckline. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got. Anyone want to have a crack?
I would love to. Whoa, never mind. Sorry, I misheard you.
If anyone has some analysis or some stuff some ideas they want to share, go for it.
I think it's good that we've sideways. I think it's good that we're sitting boring.
Yeah, good point, because I think that is evidence that we haven't, you know, that it's not over, because we're holding ground. It's like, why would you just be suspended for such a long time, like sideways? I feel like that's kind of like evidence that it is still working on, or it's just buying time, you know, until the next up thrust. You know what I mean?
I do.
Well, Blake says, any thoughts on S&P 500? Yeah, let's have a look. S&P.
Long term or short?
Yeah, well, daily chart. It's still in an uptrend. There's no. It's dealing with the previous all-time high set in back on the 26th of September. As far as like a chart pattern, maybe it could be building like a, what do you call it? A rising, an ascending triangle where it's got a flat top but an uptrend like this. So if it does something like that for the coming week, where it stays below the all-time high but doesn't lose ground, so if it does this, I'll just get my pen. If it does some more of that, then that's a bullish pattern. And if it breaks out, so that kind of ascending triangle idea gets invalidated as soon as you get lower. Like if you were to punch down through this red line, then that's no longer an ascending triangle. But yeah, man, it's on the doorstep of brand new price discovery, the S&P 500. So what a day though. What a Friday candle. Look at that. It's like huge wick on the bottom side. There's been a lot of buying leading up into it. Let me go extended trading hours. So a lot of stuff, there's a lot of activity in pre-market. You can see in the orange column there, or the yellow column. That
may
happened?
try for 61 here, like we talked about earlier, fellas, for the short-term trade. Sorry there.
Oh, that's all right. We're on Bitcoin 61. Yeah, like super local, like 5-minute chart.
61.8. Yep.
Let's go 15-minute chart. So if we're calling the recent high on Bitcoin at some kind of a top on the 15-minute, and we want to know Fibonacci, like where the pivots are, or where the key levels are. So like, yeah, 61.1. What did you say? 61.
First local stop was like that 61.8 or 9. We're already getting into it here. We've tucked it almost once.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah, that's very, very close. $200. $200 a dip. So a sharp retest on this local chart of that pivot down, that wick down, would be the golden pocket. So if it came to test that same rebound level, then yeah, my sort of local TA, my short-term time frame TA, and I'm sure a lot of people have the same problem, like that higher time frames are easier to do TA on than short, like noise time frames. Like I'm not good at the intra. I can try, but it's not my forte. I know Turbo's good at it. See if any patterns are forming. Maybe is there like a falling wedge? I want to look at like a random altcoin, like a, you know, some kind of Popcat, or, and just see if there's anything that should be followed or paid attention to. So that could become something, a falling thing. Look left, like look at the previous lows, like the pivots, here, and here. Those could be potential like bounce points for whatever this falling trend is doing. I still think the structure's up. But to me, this is how I sort of like look at it. Maybe that. It got broken here, obviously. It got really broken, but look how quickly it got back on track and broke the character back to the upside. Got back on trend. You could say, yeah, it's broken it again. You've got another character change because you broke that. You broke this low here. So you're now downtrending. It just depends if you want to include that little pivot there as a low, or if you're still using this as a low. You know what I mean? Like, is this whole falling wedge, is that all part of the same downward thrust? And then if it is and it bounces here, then you're still intact with a higher low, you know? Just like I ignored this as a high, I just included it as the whole push, because it's like a secondary movement within a broader move altogether, you know? And by the way, all of that, you can boil that down too as like that, and then, you know what I mean? Just depends on how sensitive you want to pick out the pivots. Like, do you want to be looking at every single candle, or do you want to like just look at trends? So from the bottom, let's delete them. Is there any, yeah, there wasn't really any clear trends going on. There was maybe this one. Like, which got violently broken here. There's more of a, I can see more uniformity on the top side as resistance, like through them, in this direction. So if we're gonna call that a channel, why don't we just draw that as a channel? We'll use that. I'll use that pivot there, and then get that to come down. A lot of the action lives inside that channel for this like local trend. So right now we're really we're dropping out of the bottom of it. Is there anything more, let's see, more high time frame that ignores a lot of the, nah, I don't think so. Kinda. So maybe this is still like a rising wedge. Either way you cut it, all of that price action is rising. So generally an outcome of a rising, you know, markets move up, markets move down, markets move up, markets move down, just overly simplified, right? So what goes up generally retraces to some level. Sometimes it's a full retracement, sometimes it's 0.5, but you get the drift. Like it's up, it's down, it's up, it's down. So we've just come up. So is it time to do the correction, you know? Can you see why we pulled up where we did as well? It's pretty much like a swing fail of this high over here. If you pick that, if I can lock on it, just there. You can see, let me change the color. So this high point just got swept, recovered, or, you know, swing failed. So I would treat this whole section here, these lows and this high, as a move that has a Fibonacci retracement to it. And that's what I'd be tracking for Saturday's session candle, which is in half an hour or less. Anyone want to have a go? Just type in PopCat. Bybit. Let's just look at the spot chart. It's Tether. Incredible day.
Sorry, man. I was talking with my wife.
Oh, hey, what's happening?
Ignoring you or anything.
It's all good.
Hello.
I mean, there's a few things I could mention, but
yeah,
I could try to keep it brief.
Yeah, I'll just Just do like a screen share and I'll throw the screen up if you want.
All right, give me a second.
I can't believe it's the fourth quarter. It's... Where the hell did this year go? So fast.
Yeah. I am now 49.
Yeah, 49. I'm almost 36.
All right.
Good number.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
We can hear you.
I just switched to voice activity for a second because it'll just be easier like that. Well, now what the fuck do I do?
You
All
share
right,
your screen.
share screen. This one. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'm up there. Let me know when you're.
Yep. Go for gold.
All right, so if we go out to the daily, obviously we still have this sort of lower high structure going on here. I mean, you could even almost put it to that point, and we're still having trouble with that level. So the lower high structure hasn't broken yet. From our most recent low, you made almost a 0.5 from that level. Pull it down to here, you've got a 382. And the reason why I started by zooming out is because I'm going to throw an anchored VWAP at all-time high. And so that's where I think the price is tending to gravitate towards a little bit. Like, in the most part, remember I had shorted back here when it hit the anchored VWAP. And the 20-week SMA was also here, but I'll put that on later. And when you got above it here, there was some optimism, and every time it fell below it, we were buying back up above it till you ended up getting this topping move. So now, where we sit from this high to this low, that anchored VWAP is right at the 0.5 here, around 63,180. This is the Bybit perpetuals chart. But the problem with that is we've got all of this resistance that it's being met. It wicked up, rejected there. Today it got up to it, didn't really quite have the strength to break through it, at least so far. So this resistance here is obviously an issue. And this line, you can see, kind of has interacted with it multiple times. There's a bit of resistance here, with some support back here and here. So that line has a fair amount of significance. And also, this all these wicks right here where it was being held up, that's presenting some resistance at the moment. And what was the other thing I wanted to mention? I mean, this anchored VWAP that from the all-time high, like, that definitely is a level. I would have expected it to sort of come back there and then reject if we were going to fall further, which I still think that's going to happen. And there's also that sort of higher low structure that you mentioned before, and the break of this structure, which was the break of the lower high. So I could see sort of whereas this was sort of a dramatic move. There was a bit of a character change there. Like, I would see us coming up, retesting that VWAP and the 0.5, and then maybe continuing down a little bit. And there's actually a lot of confluence here at this 56, 57K area. Because I think we're going to ultimately probably end up falling down to that level. If it's just above the 786 if you draw the fib from here, but if you draw it from the lowest low, then it's a 618. So it would dip below the... Yeah. basically dipped just below the 0.5 and then just above the 618. But I mean, I think a big part of why we actually held support there is because if you zoom out more, like zooming out on the daily here and dragging a fib from here. Am I? Oh, I'm not even on logarithmic. This one's not lining up for some reason. This 0.5 area. Did I draw it from the right spot? Oh, I know what it is. Check that, throw that on. All right, so yeah, this is the 0.5 on the logarithmic scale. So it looks like that provided some support there. It's for this whole range here. So on the logarithmic scale, this entire range from all-time high down to our lowest low, that ends up being conveniently located at the 0.5. So I would think that we would come up. I mean, I guess we don't have to go all the way up there, but I would think if we come up a little bit, we probably continue the downtrend and we end up in this like sort of pocket here, which that would be a 382. And then the other fibs that I mentioned, let's see what it says on the log scale, because yeah, so on the log scale, this whole area, that's actually a 0.5 on the log scale. It's 57K. And if we drag it up from here, let's see what that is. It's a 618 on the log scale. So I mean, there's a lot of confidence there. Yeah. That would suggest that would be a good spot to bounce, I think, if we are going to continue to move up. Because if not, if we weren't to bounce there, like we do have this higher high, higher low structure. You know, like I think you already mentioned once earlier while you were talking, we had this high. This was the first higher low from the bottom here, and then this high took out this previous high. So first higher low, first higher high. So we do have that momentum shift, more or less. And then also if you look at this is gonna get real crazy in a second, but if we look at the stochastic on the weekly, the stochastic has flipped up. So I mean, that's looking good as far as like bullish momentum, if we can sustain that. And the stochastic is making a higher low. It's putting in higher lows from July. So this is actually right here, this higher low, and then in the stochastic and the lower low in price, that's actually technically bullish divergence in the stochastic RSI. But really it's just showing momentum, that like we do still have like that momentum move to the upside. So that's good for now. I would hope that we don't put in like again another lower high from this one before crossing over. And then I think if we put, so this is a higher high from this one, and then this price would be a lower high from this one. So that would technically be hidden bearish divergence in the stochastic. If the stochastic was to top out here and start curling over and moving down, which I guess let's just hope that's not the case. If you want to see it break this bigger macro channel, hold on, and just get rid of all the drawings. If you want to actually see it break this descending level of resistance, we need that stochastic to maintain, because otherwise the other line that I had drawn here, and along with the fibs, if we were to come down to that level and not hold it, then I'd say we'd be breaking through, and we're actually closer to, some people are sort of drawing this as if it's like a descending broadening wedge sort of thing. depending on where you connect the lines. I guess there's multiple different ways you could do it, but some people are referring to it as a descending broadening wedge. And if that's the case, then I mean, we could see even the low 40s, worst case scenario, I think. But you do have this whole order block here that would sort of line up pretty well with the bottom of this descending trend line here that we have been putting in lower lows since April, basically, or March. So I don't know. I'd say this is like a worst case scenario type look. And let's just check to see if these fibs, if like we could match that up with the 1.618. I mean, that would be somewhere around here, around 45, which would probably clear out the rest of the long leverage. But hold on. Let me see if I get, so MA moving average simple. I'm just going to throw that on there, and I'm going to put the value at 100, and I go to the weekly. So this is the 100 weekly moving average. So if we were to fall that far, this 100 weekly SMA kind of coincidentally lines up with this order block here. So I mean, those are pretty bearish targets. So I would hope that, for the sake of the bulls, if we did want to see, because that would like almost certainly mean a red quarter four, and we've actually never had a red quarter four during an election year. We have had a red October, but not a red quarter four. It's never happened before. So I think for bulls, you would want to hopefully see something like that. And in order to keep that intact, I'd say that we really kind of need this stochastic to stay, to keep from crossing over, especially crossing over at a lower high than what we're making back here. So we need to maintain that momentum to the upside. And I mean, one more thing here's another level of confluence here is this is the 50 weekly simple moving average. So if we were to follow that level, like I was saying before, that 56, 57 level, the 50 week moving average is right there, which has been strong. We haven't closed any weekly candle bodies below it yet this year. So I mean, that's a sign of strength. And then the 20 SMA is probably the last problem. I'll just go down the time frames to see where we're at. So 50 weekly SMA, we did hold support and closed every candle above there so far this week. We've got your stochastic that looks like it could be crossing over. Ultimately, you want it to get back in the 20s or close above the 20s. The 4 hour is looking like it could be shifting momentum to the downside, potentially. So that could be a sell-off, but we did hold this 200. What is this? That's a 200 SMA on the 4 hour. Yeah, so pretty similar to the 50. What was it? The 50 on the daily? Yeah, so 200 SMA in the 4 hours, pretty similar to the 50 on the daily. 1 hour, we did break above the 50 SMA, and actually if I put on, I'm pretty sure that I had the 20 week or 20 SMA somewhere. In any case, I'll just continue with these stochastics because that's kind of what I was running through anyway. Stochastic, I mean, the 1 hour looking like it's starting to lose momentum a little bit. The 15, it's starting to get oversold on the 15 of the minute at the moment. So this is just shorter time frame stuff. So, I mean, I think that there's a good chance, or I have been thinking all day, that there's a good chance that we move up into this zone, like the 63, 64, 63, 63 and a half, 64 area, because this liquidity heat map is actually showing that there's a lot of liquidity up here. So like $500,000, like almost every $100 or so. There's a lot of short liquidity up here. Like these I've been expecting these shorts to get liquidated, and unfortunately the volume was just not there today in order to make it happen. So it hasn't busted through just yet, but it doesn't look like there's that many longs building up. They are building up, so this is another reason why I think we're going to go down later, but I would think that we're going to go up and sweep this first, like provided there's enough volume there, which, I mean, there hasn't really been just yet. Where was I on this? Okay. What was the last thing I wanted to mention? I think it was just MA, moving average simple. Gonna change the value of this to 20. I'll just make it white so it's easier to see. And then I'll put it on the 2 hour. So one good thing that I saw that happened sometime between yesterday and today was, so when we fell below this 20 weekly, this is the 2 hour chart. So, or not 20 weekly, 20 SMA on the 2 hour chart. So the 20 SMA on the 2 hour, when we fell below that, it pretty much has been dying ever since. And it's been using this 20 SMA on the 2 hour as resistance, like pretty religiously. You know, every time you come up to it, it's been rejecting, and then we actually closed above it here, came back, tested it, and held it as support. We've been moving up, came wick down below it briefly, and we've been back above it. So breaking that was pretty good. And then along with obviously when it comes to the basic trend lines, you know, you could say you had a line there that was broken, and there was, you know, a shorter term one that was broken here. So this is where we first started getting going. It's breaking this one, and then we broke this second one, came back, tested it, and then pushed up. And now we're back just at this previous high, and have yet to really like break and close above it yet. But like I said, I would think we go and sweep this level, and hopefully it actually has the volume to make it there, because the confluence that's there with the 0.5 and the anchored VWAP, as well as all these liquidations, all these short liquidations, I would think that's the more logical thing to do in the short term. But then in the long term, I still think we're going to end up ultimately going down a little bit more, and then hopefully hold a higher low somewhere around this 56, 57K region. And if not, we might be looking at potentially a red Q3. I think we're probably going to end up closing red for October, which has only happened once during the election year in the past. But then also one more thing to consider is that this pattern here, if we were to come down to this 56, 57 area, and then we rally back up, yeah, we would be breaking this descending trend line here, you know, this bigger one. But then that also presents this rising wedge type situation. So if we were to break this level and fall back through it, if we test it and come back and, you know, we could potentially go into price discovery. But if we come back, if we fail, we come back down, I mean, that would end up being sort of a textbook rising wedge formation, especially if it loses it here. Sorry, let me just get some of this shit out of the way. If it loses it here, then I mean, that's kind of a bit of a sign of weakness, and we still weren't able to take out this high. And that would probably be the first red flag, but I mean, you could probably still rally up and maybe get close to taking out this high and then come down. If we end up losing it here, I mean, that's the rising wedge would be, sort of playing out textbook at that point. But more often than not, what I've been seeing is that even if we do have a rising wedge, like during the bull market, ever since we started going bullish, like back, I don't know, January 23 or maybe October of 23, whenever I've seen a bigger rising wedge like this, they tend to end up faking out, and they sort of end up just pushing towards the top and pushing and busting out towards the top because we're in a bull market. And I think people like to short this type of stuff, and then they get squeezed out. And then there's the breakout, people that buy the breakout.
I've seen a couple of failed rising wedges, thinking, like the textbook would be a drop out of it, but it ends up defying it and going up anyway. There's been a couple
most of the macro ones have been doing that lately. I mean, but until it breaks down, honestly, until we break this level, you still have higher lows and higher highs anyway. Yeah. So, I mean, it would be optimistic to see it break out of the top there, take out this high ultimately, hopefully. Taking out that high, it sort of invalidates the whole rising wedge theory anyway. But I think that the smarter thing to do, if you were going to play a rising wedge, like in sort of like a bull market, where's my path here? If you have these consistent higher highs and higher lows, I mean, if you were to break structure, make a lower low, you know what I mean? So you broke this one. I mean, like, let's say that would suffice. But I mean, even to go even further, if we had a change of character so much so that it broke this one, if you then got a rising wedge, I would think that it has a higher probability
of continuing down.
Yeah, because if we're on a harsher retracement, I think that the whole rising wedge formation definitely has a higher probability of breaking down if you are into resistance. So if you've already broken structure, so you would have broken structure here, right, for the first time. That's the first change in character coming up and resisting from it.
Yeah.
That's sort of the lower high. So you got your lower low, lower high. And then now this area is presenting resistance, and this one back here. So if you got a rising wedge into resistance, I mean, that's a little bit of a different story. I would think that sort of thing would have a much better chance of breaking down.
I feel like
you could actually trade that.
With Bitcoin, just in the last 6 months, it's like, how many people have positions, like long positions, that aren't willing to part with it? They're not willing to let it go yet because it hasn't scared them yet. Like, they're still hanging in there. They still have enough faith that we can come up overall. So they're not, no one's selling. It's gone down as what's the lowest it's got so far? Was it 49? Did it push through 50? Yeah, I can't even remember. And then, like, demand will step in, and it has done. Each time the price comes down, like, it bounces pretty vigorously, and that's because people are stepping in to buy it. Like, What was that article that someone posted the other day that that the BlackRock guy bought like $40 million worth of Bitcoin or something? I don't. What was it, million or billion? I don't
Larry
know.
Fink.
Larry Fink, yeah. He's been piling up on it. Or stocking up some more.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's probably buying everything that friggin' hits the exchange. Probably why the price hasn't gone down at all.
Yeah.
But I mean, you could have this big sort of massive bull market that's happening.
Yeah.
Right? Already. And be in an uptrend. You had this break of structure. You could still play this rising wedge, but maybe it only you can play it down to there.
It just depends where it throws it down to. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it ends up just being like a regular retracement in a larger uptrend.
Look at the
you know, and
look at the reasons. You've got the stock market all basically on the doorstep of price discovery again, like the S&P 500. You've got interest rates getting cut for the rest of the year. You've got CPI heading in the direction we want it to, like it's coming down, the inflation's coming down. There's a lot of good positive things. The GDP results have been positive. There's been no negative GDP, so there's nothing like a recession on the cards yet. Like, you sort of start seeing the hints of a recession when that GDP starts coming back down, I think, like, because that shows that growth has been, you know, stalling out. And also like jobs numbers, like, you know, if unemployment's going up and there's layoffs and all that kind of stuff. But I don't know, I haven't really heard of any word of all that stuff. Like, it's a bit more optimistic than pessimistic, I think, on the like from a fundamental view at the moment.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah. So
definitely seems like things are turning around. Like the Fed is kind of pivoting, you know, and they're not pivoting drastically, so it's not causing like a shock to the market. But at the same time, you know, the market is very overbought, and it needs to have healthy pullbacks in order to continue up. And that, like, when those pullbacks are met with bullish demand, I mean, when the pullbacks happen, granted you don't have anything bad going on, any bad economic news or something, then the pullbacks end up typically being met by bull demand, and you get bullish demand coming in, and then that creates these sort of higher lows in the whole macro structure.
Yep, it needs that perfect storm. It needs all the planets to align, you know, like you need to have all the chips in the right spot.
Yeah, I mean, even looking at the S&P.
Yep.
This is what I was pointing out.
Definitely, it's all good. Yep.
This is what I was pointing out on the weekly for the S&P, was that there's actually bearish divergence on the weekly. So if we go back a little bit here, where was I don't think it goes back too far. Like, I don't think this correction had a bearish divergence, but if you look from this last pivot high to this high, the price made a higher high, but then the RSI made a lower high. So that here, I won't extend it. I'll just do it so that it's flat like that, and then I'll take this one. I'll take this one off. So this right here, we take this pivot high to this pivot high here, right, on the weekly, and then you had your RSI and you put in a lower high on the RSI but a higher high in price. So that was the bearish divergence on the weekly that printed.
Yeah.
And from that, you know, you actually got a 10% correction on the S&P. And yeah, that was the Japanese yen carry trade and shit, but that I mean, there was bearish divergence. So I mean, the market's getting pretty overbought, like in the S&P, and I think it needs a chance to cool off a bit.
But
So that was the last time that happened.
How long can it go overbought? You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure there's times in history where bull markets have ripped and it's been overbought for months and months and months, like, because the fever's still there, you know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was getting overbought even right here, and then it's still put in a higher high here. Yeah. Then it's still put in a higher high here.
Yeah, you could argue it's been overbought since the year 2000.
Yeah. Well. I mean, for just for the sake of what I'm trying to illustrate here is that you had the last time you had that bearish divergence on the weekly, you had a 10% correction, right? And this is another bearish divergence on the weekly because the weekly's already closed. So you had a higher high in price and a lower high on the RSI again. The weekly close. And you could even argue that this smaller one here and this one here, that's also a lower high. That's a higher high in price. This is also a lower high. So I mean, you kind of have consecutive bearish divergence. So I would think that like
how deep
there would be some sort of a sell-off.
And how deep do you have to come to pay for that divergence? You know what I mean? Like, does that mean we go down to the depths, or is it just a pullback, or is it? Yeah.
I don't think it gets super oversold. It's been staying. The RSI has been staying above 50 on the weekly since what was this? October of 23.
I'm trying to think of an analogy as to how I feel the markets are. It's like a kid goes to an arcade, right? His mum gave him $50. The kid's gonna play on the arcades and stuff until he runs out of cash, like till he runs out of his $50. So it's like the market will stay like the market will keep playing until it runs out of, like, dries up out of liquidity. Like, what's that M.2 graph? Like, it's the global liquidity thing. Like, if there's money floating around, the markets don't have any reason to like freak out.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I don't expect that they would freak out. Most times, right? So we do have a bearish divergence on the weekly, but most times you stay above the 20-week SMA, which if I actually put on just that, let me grab the indicator and then I'll pretty much be done sharing after this, but moving average.
I'll let Turbo know that he can have a crack in a minute.
And we'll change this to 20 and we'll make it pink-ish. Make it pink. We'll make it sort of bold. All right, so this is the 20 SMA. And if we look on the weekly, most times in the majority of these pullbacks, you end up holding the 20-week SMA. This was the most severe one that we had last year, and it was 11%. You still bought back above it. This one here, this was 6.5%. You bounced off the 20-week SMA. This one was 10%, but you closed above the 20-week SMA. Here you had, how much was this? Almost 5%. You bounced off the 20-week SMA. So if we were to fall from here on this bearish divergence, and we were to follow the 20-week SMA, that's about 5%. So probably, like, I'd say somewhere between a 5 and 10% correction, and it's over. And during the fucking election year, there always tends to be like seasonal volatility. So you might come down to here and then bounce, and then we just keep putting in higher highs. Or, worst case, I have this anchored VWAP drawn from the October low. And the last time that we had that bearish weekly divergence in the Japanese yen carry trade, you bounced off that anchored VWAP right here, like almost perfectly. I think if you zoom in to like the daily, I think the closer you zoom in, the more intimate it actually gets with it. You see there's shit. right here on the 4-hour, you know, it got real close to it. If we go to the 1-hour, you know, that's sort of like the line of defense, though. It's the anchored VWAP. So if we were to drop from here on the bearish divergence, that would be like a 9, almost 10% drop, but you would still put in a higher low than you would than you did during the Japanese yen carry trade the last time that we put in the bear div on the weekly. So I mean, I'd say that's typically where we get that sort of a move. Whenever there's bearish divergence on the weekly, I would sort of expect it to return to the 20-week SMA, because that's where it always ends up reverting to. Like a lot of the times in the financial, like in the stock market, they consider the 20-week SMA mean reversion, and then something a little more catastrophic will bring you to this anchored VWAP. But it's still a bull market ultimately, right? Until proven wrong. We would have to start making lower lows to start talking about some more bear market type activity, which we're just nowhere even close to that yet. Like and the economy is sort of like the global economic situation is not getting worse, it's supposedly getting better. And they're doing the rate cuts and stuff. So I don't know. I think that last time, you know, you can see back here. So all the way up in this bull market. So let's just take it from after COVID. In this bull market, you held the 20. You got back above it. After COVID, you bought back above it. You made it support here, support, final move to the top side, right? When you came down and dropped below it, resistance. I mean, you kind of got close there. It was kind of more or less resistance here, resistance. And then, I mean, you bought back above it and sort of mingled with it for a while.
Time to level out, yeah.
So the 20-week SMA, that's kind of like your mean reversion, even in the bear market bounces. So when you put in a lower high, you still ended up making it back to the 20-week SMA multiple times. Even though you put in lower highs, you had that mean reversion back to it until you finally put in this higher low here.
Where are we now with it?
We're above it. So that's what I'm
it?
saying is.
Oh yeah, like we're dancing.
About 5%.
Yeah. Okay.
So
riding
this. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, with the bearish divergence coming in, I would expect that, yeah, we're in a bull market, but if we get bearish divergence on the weekly, I would expect it to come back to the 20-week SMA. That's about 5,500.
Yeah, which doesn't kill the market. It's a retracement. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost 5%.
Yeah.
So and then like something a little bit more disastrous is sort of your 10% back to anchored VWAP.
Like losing it, yeah.
I mean, if we do lose it, I wouldn't expect it to be for very long, because look, you lost it here.
To lose it. Yeah, we threatened it, and it became a big hammer.
Yeah, and it's just a hammer. It closed above it.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's a threat even to fall below it. It's not much of a threat as long as you close above it again. You're really still technically in a bull market as long as you're closing above the 20-week SMA, right?
And that was mid Q3, I think that happened around the start of August. That crazy sell-off and recovery. Yeah.
August 5th.
All right, I think Turbo's waiting to have a crack as well.
Turbo's in the queue. All right, yeah, go for it.
Are you there, Turbo?
You can even see back here, just in closing, like you can see back here, the bullish times you're above it. You're mostly staying above it. You're in a bull market.
Yep. Yeah. No doubt.
All right, thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for giving us the TED Talk.
Yeah, no problem.
So what are we doing?
You just, I just, if you want to do like any kind of TA on something, Turbo, go for it. I'll share it.
On Bitcoin?
Yeah, you can go Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So why are you streaming the charts?
Yeah, I'll stream it
Here.
when you share it. Yeah.
Did we close it on a green candle? The daily, by the way?
Good question.
Yes. Screen.
Daily. Yeah, we just closed 17 minutes ago. Yeah.
I don't concur, Kwai.
You don't concur with what? Said it was a green daily candle?
I don't concur.
Are you colorblind?
Oh, hello.
Look, don't hate on my disability. All right, I'm offended.
On your disability? What?
Yeah, I'm colorblind.
Oh,
Another fucking colorblind? What the hell, man?
I'll check Tron out after Turbo's TA to the guy that was
you
asking
should
about
be
Tron.
an electrician.
I'm good, dude.
Yes.
I'm just chilling, listening to
Me
music. So
too.
you let me know if you want me to.
Yeah,
take
I'm
5
ready
minutes.
for you. No, go for it.
Yeah. Okay. So you know me, very untraditional.
It's cool, unorthodox.
We
I
hit our
like it.
bottom,
Mhm.
and I don't want to talk too much about the past, but your first box from your bottom to your top here
0.5.
is your future targets, okay? But we've been climbing since, so we have no need to revisit this area at the moment. You're actually holding higher lows on a macro, and your retest in this cycle was taken out by a higher high. Now you have to remember these are each one of them is its own, we'll say, mini cycle. So no, we did not break the highs here, but once you start over and you hold your higher low, the first proper attempt is to break local highs to confirm a low. So what did we do here? We broke the local highs. Bam. So at the moment, this is your confirmed low. Now, when you come to retest, it's the same thing. You start putting your boxes, okay? And for me, where it's untraditional, we're going to erase everything and we're going to look for cats. So we know that off the bottom, we had a positive cat. Qui-Gon, you know, I don't know if you mentioned it before, I did step away, but you had your initial box, and you had wherever you take your left ear in your scalp, your right ear, it's just the mechanics, right? We always talk about this. Your last low with your 0.5, bam, top, retested the 0.5, dip slightly into the 618 golden pocket, but look at your breakout. Cat is positive. It broke. You're good. Well, we know fractals grow or shrink, and now we're on the next one. Your next one is right here. All right, so same thing. We have our box, bottom, top of the right ear, yes. But if you want, that's the Fibonacci, okay? We're not gonna go to the Fibonacci because we don't have time to explain it to everybody. But long story short, take it to your top on a 1 hour, on a 15-minute. We'll go on a 15-minute. There's more description towards it. And you zoom in. And now you realize that you have broken again here. You're retesting your 0.5. You're having a reaction, and you're on your next cat. So every time you do this, from your drop to your right ear or your top, I do it to my right ear because I like my Fibonacci. You have your how do you call it, your stagnant, your, how do you say, it's not a it doesn't move, you keep this 0.5, but you take your local range. It's I don't know what Joel used to call it, but it's set. It's your daily, like you don't move it, okay? Because you don't want
Range?
your bigger picture, of your cat that you're charting. You don't want your bigger picture to be forgotten, but you want to zoom in locally and see what your next one is doing to keep the momentum to the top side. Why? Because this target here is waiting to get hit, just like on every other cat. So you have your line, green line because it's go. Every time we hit this, you have a decision to take. Am I going to get out and profit and not be greedy? Or am I going to get the order block that pushes it, bam, through the high? That's usually the end of the tail, right? Test, retest, boom, gone. So at the moment, we're doing actually pretty well. We had our down move to create the swing up, like a yin and yang, or
deep test of 60K. Now we're at 62. That's
Yep. And as long as we can hover now, like to me, I already think I know what we're drawing here, and you know what I'm going to draw. It's a test, the scalp. This is your retest. It'll be some type of cat. We're the weekend. Yeah. So, slows shit down.
It's like a scalp, Jay. God.
What's up, Max? I feel like I don't hear you anymore.
Yeah, the more you hear
Trendline.
me, the more I start to be feeling better. So.
Okay, that's good, buddy. That is good. I am happy to hear that. Look, you know me, I don't like to move trend lines. So if you just go from your original and you look at your momentum to the top side, and we're just gonna keep it straight. We're not looking at anything else but the 3 first bottoming points.
Yeah.
Okay, we're not moving shit. We're just gonna do this. Okay. This had more momentum to the top side, this formation. This one now is the rejection to this momentum, but to create again your push, right? You have to have a whole thing happen here. Now look, this is your triangle at the moment. Your megaphone that's starting. Yeah, it's not respecting how a megaphone would be, but all I'm trying to say is if you kept your line original, you'd be like, oh my God, we're gonna crash. If you don't put anything, no EMAs, nothing, then you'd think we're gonna crash. But if you know the cat, then you know there's always a box around it. Cat in the box, right? Cat in the box. We'll take my right ear for the Fibonacci, not the top. And then we will look at our 0.5s and our retest, and then your last one, look. Bam. Jump. Next cat. We're waiting for a tail for this, right? We know it's going to pitch a tail. We also know it can fail it to the 0.5 of the range it's in and have your reaction to keep going. Where the range would be is the top of your original bucks.
Jay,
always the same thing for me.
Do you see this? I can't fucking read PopCat at this point. I mean, like, I long the fuck out of it. It's been great, but I want to short this thing.
PopCat.
Very, very badly. But I think it could still go to like 125. I don't know. I mean, this chart is this thing runs so.
Here's your cat on PopCat. It's right here.
Is that on the invert?
One scalp, yeah, right here. And watch what I'm gonna do.
Okay.
Left scalp, right ear, body for both. Do you see how this one extended past its scalp line and broke out?
Mm-hmm.
Do you see how this one did exactly the same thing? Broke out past the scalp line? Well, we're gonna go a little further now because I don't know. I've just looked at it. Give me a second.
I know, this thing is hard to read these cats.
We had our range previous to this. Okay, this is inverted. We had our range. We had our cat. He never got his tail. He got rejected on the 0.5. Boom. So your next cat did the same thing, right? Test, retest, body down, never got its tail, got rejected, boom. Next one's here. Never got his tail, rejection. That's probably a 0.5 hit.
It's like a slanted cat, is what you're saying. It's like
Your cat is this on PopCat. It's this one. Don't look for anything else. It's this. That's your cat. Look, this is your next one. Like I showed you. See, they all have their signatures.
Terrible. What's up?
Who's that? Hey, what's up, Kula?
What's happening, man? Don't forget about Not. Not's gonna take off, man.
Oh yeah, not.
Yeah,
coin.
so Not I'm following very closely, and if you look at it at the moment, it is on like I'd be very careful with this. It's having a hard time flipping.
It's inverted again?
You know.
Oh yeah, it is, yeah.
It's inverted. I'm sorry. Let me go here.
You're all good.
You see,
yeah. Falling wedge type.
we're on yeah, and it had its attempt. And now it's redoing this whole falling wedge. It's redoing it in a mini version here. So it's going to have its attempt again. And if it falls, then, well, I'm just saying, like, I'm not saying it cannot go, but I've tried this thing 20 times over the past week. And it seems on the 15, let's say 15 and 5 minute, look
on the 4 hour. Don't look short term. Look at
well, I know, but the 4 hour is fucking around. Like, I'll show you why I'm looking at the smaller time frame, okay? Because you see this formation here. Do you see how very particular this one forms? Okay, watch how I'm gonna form him. Now look at your 15 minute. Okay, you see it on the 15 minute, right? And now let's go on to a 5 minute. You see them on the 5 minute. So they're all completed, correct? Correct. So now we're just looking at what does the next one do? It's trying to turn around, I agree, on the smaller time frames, but it hasn't like caught up on the higher time frame, I find. Do you know what I mean? Let me turn this music off. Alexa, turn the music off. So the next move for it, in my opinion, is it hasn't caught up, but this is the thing that I'm following right now on it, is on the inverted, okay? The inverted right now, I'm on this on a 4 hour. Your move up is a cat's ass down, correct? If you take your box on this one, you're gonna see where you got your, if you take your box on this one, you're gonna see where you get your first proper reaction. I'm gonna put it on the right ear for me. That's the one I trust. That's probably where it'll stop. 79.70, and I'll wait for this, because if you look here, this is what we keep doing on this damn thing. One, boom. One, boom. Look, you have it here, one, and then you have, watch what I'm going to show you. This becomes one cycle. This becomes two cycles. Same formation. And then you have, I'm going to erase everything. Left, right, body. And now you have the same thing. Look at how this area is extended between your test, retest, and look here. Test, retest, body is the same bullshit we got last weekend. Bam, 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 bam. And then you get your squeeze, right? You try again for your tail. Well, I'm waiting until he fails the right ear. because I want this move for this guy to fail. Meaning cat's ass down on the inverted is your run. That's it. And I'm not going to overchart it. Like if you just take your top, not to where we're at, but to here. I'm going to do future 0.5. Okay, watch.
Are you charting inverted?
Yeah.
Why
future.
do you do that?
Because I see it better at the moment. You would show me the same pattern on this. All you're seeing is the damn thing drop, right? I want to see the turnaround. So I want to know when my drops are diminishing moves to the downside. Retests are bigger retests to the upside. And then I start to see it flip. What you saw the chart do here, you start to do here. Falling wedge, breakout, falling wedge, breakout. Come on, 4 hours is way too far. I mean, I understand what you mean by the 4 hour, but for me, I want to catch the turnaround. I want to get the confirmations from it. And at the moment, as long as my small time frames print cats that have tails that pass the right ear, and then we do this again. Oops, I missed that one. Okay, and you pass it again, then I'm good. I know we're climbing. As soon as it fails, you get that move again, just like you got it here, you got it here, you got it here, you got it here. You see how the move expands and starts to diminish. Oh, higher lows now. Higher lows. It's good. Until you don't pass this. And then you do this move. Bam! It's right here. Look, it's absolutely this with this. You don't pass here. Bam. It's here. Same thing. Same move. It's here. Same move. So you want to see a break of structure of it doing that. Like, look, what? Nope, not here. Bob, that was huge. There you go again. Now you're starting to break. You don't pass this, you're going to be down here after this weekend. You'll see. So that was very long. Forgive me. But Bitcoin, same thing. We see this constantly on the chart right now. This is, watch, is this. Then you flip it back, and then you have it. It's more noisy here. I'd have to get it on another time frame. But deep scalp. Everybody asleep?
Yeah.
Nope.
Nice. Everybody's asleep. Perfect.
He says, "Yep."
Anyways, I'm expecting a tail on this cat over here. Range is set. That's your right here. 62,360. What?
I'm rolling something called ICC, International Criminal Court.
Thanks, Turbo, for that, brother.
Anytime, bro. Anytime.
I had someone in the chat asking me about Tron. I'm just gonna run over that real quick with them, or for him.
Tron? Or
I haven't looked at Tron in a while. Yeah.
Just that might have been a local low, like local high or low on the real small time frames for Bitcoin.
Turbo, did you hear me? I got some ICC.
Yeah, I heard you. I heard you. No,
maybe not. It might be losing it at the moment. I'm not sure. But yeah, so Turbo, you said what that right year? Sorry, Rick, just real quick. You said that right year would be 62.3 or 62.4?
62.3. Yeah. 62.3 breaks because the ass is higher than the right ear. 62.3 breaks. You should get an impulse candle to the upside. You don't, it's not gonna break that high. It's gonna hit the right ear, which means positive, but it'll take a retrace to grow a bigger cat. You get what I'm saying? But
yeah,
you know the move is positive. So
I'm just wondering if I should get out there and then
I would get
call it a
out
day.
if you get, well, what's your entrance at? Your entry at 62.4, no? Or I'm wrong.
Yeah, a little bit below there.
Your
But
15-minute cat.
I don't know. If I had gotten out earlier,
Mhm.
then I guess I could have just tried to reposition and then make a better scalp. But yeah, I don't know.
I think we're going up, dude. I'm good with the charts at the moment.
Well, I mean, it sucked. It was a terrible position anyway, so I should have just taken it. I would have had profit earlier, but
Here's your backwards cat, okay? That you have to be careful. This one. That's your left ear. That's your scalp. That's your right ear. That's your interruption. That's your rip. Well,
I don't
let's
think
not
we're gonna
go that high on the
I
rip.
just I figured we would go about like 63, maybe 60, maybe 64. I don't know. So that's why I was holding off on pulling the whole position.
Dude. This is how it starts. I'm telling you. Look, this
Yeah,
little
but
cat
there's just
here.
no volume of like this weekend.
I get it. That's why I'm saying if it hovers around here and it fails its tail, but it hits the right ear and it goes down, I'm still bullish because it's a right ear down interruption, hopefully, and bam. Now, the bam does not need to go this high. I got you, but it needs to go and break this, which is exactly, obviously, 64,001, this previous high before our drop. So that's what the right ear interruption does. Because if you flip your chart, it is the cat on the inverted that fails his tail and drops. So trust me when I say it's my opinion, but there is a mechanic behind it, and this is it. You've identified your inverted cat. You know the tail has to pass at least the 0.5 of the range. The rejection is a higher on the right side up. Wow, I have to.
Well, I still want to hold my short, but I just want to get out of the long, and I thought I was gonna sweep that liquidity tonight, but it didn't do it, and now I don't know if it's gonna do it all weekend.
Into a hedge, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
it's
still
not a
short
trick question, and I'm not
over the
criticizing
66.
Gotcha.
Man,
like I'm
Tron.
still in short, but yeah, the hedge just.
Oh yeah, Tron.
Up.
I'm so sorry. He has
yeah, sorry.
He has
go
a
ahead.
YouTuber that wants to hear about Tron. Go right ahead, bud.
It's all good. Tron has been very impressive this year, compared to a lot of alts. Really, it's within a shot of achieving its 2021 high. Its all-time high is all the way up at 30 cents. Its 2021 high was 18 cents. It's currently at 15.66. That's really good. That's strong. A lot of alts haven't even come up really off the floor of their old consolidation ranges from 2022. So Tron also had it wasn't in it for long. Tron is actually quite a strong coin, an altcoin. So it's actually... Because, everyone knows, it's no secret, 2022 was the devastating bear market. The back end of 2021 into 2022 was all, it was misery. It was a giant falling wedge on Tron on the weekly. This is the weekly chart. So you had it ping-ponging down, and then boom, it broke out, and then 2023 was nothing but up for it. It was a lot easier, even easier than Bitcoin to trade Tron, like long term for the swings. It has not given up structure, I don't think, since the bottom. Like if you take the highs and the lows on Tron, I mean, where's a low that gets beaten? It's pretty good. There's a low there. There's a lower high here, granted, but every low has been maintained or not revisited. Have you noticed that? Since 2020, the back end of 2022, that's a long time ago. It's just on the up and up. Like it's been a very strong performer since then. So if you're in Tron, I wouldn't be getting scared anytime soon.
It's honestly been one of the best performers of the cycle so far.
Yep. And then just keep your eye on the high. This would be a very big test because that's a big deal. The 2021 high is a big deal. That's 18 cents. You're currently at 15.65 for it. And then obviously the all-time that was set back in 2018, 20, I don't have enough data to go back on, but it was, according to CoinMarketCap, it was like, what was it? Yeah, the 1st of January 2018, it set a high. And I think this is still the, what's this? This is the weekly? I don't know. Anyway, it set a wicked high. It went on a crazy run early 2018, and it has not managed to come back up. But it's definitely on the path, man. I don't think if I open up the Doge chart. Wait, let me clean this up before I see to it.
Oh, I just found the cat on it. That's your cat.
On Tron? Yeah.
Yeah.
On Doge. See, Doge hasn't. Look at the difference. Tron has already come back up and is threatening to come and revisit that 2021 high, whereas Doge is still down in the accumulation areas, you know? Not saying that Doge won't come up, it's just saying that it's at a different phase. They're on different chapters of their journey. So yeah, man, Tron's surprising. Like, wow, it's probably doing better than Ethereum as far as, visiting old prices. What's Ethereum up to? Yeah,
it is sitting
Ethereum...
on its 1 hour, 0.5 on its entire range. From 16.98 to 14.65 here.
The one that you're gonna talk about, like this.
Like on the 1 hour.
Let me move this across screen.
Where are you? Oh yeah, you're right.
Oh, this is a different. Yeah, this is a daily run. It almost did it didn't quite do a 0.5 on that, but maybe if it was down.
Wow, so if this thing crosses its 0.5, it's failing its local tail. It's gonna have a run. But I'd be weary. I'd be careful on this 0.5. Next target 16.38. But you are at a 0.5 rejection at the moment, meaning you've hit it twice already on the 1 hour. September 29th and just recently. Yeah, on at 15.76. That's your 0.5.
So from this thing let's see this leg as well. Let me just change my format of my Fibonacci retracements. I think this one's the better one. Yeah, goes across the screen. Yeah, there's some 0.5 checking of that run there, like that leg there, got checked. 0.5.
Am I on the wrong chart? Whose chart am I on? I'm not even on your chart. I'm on freaking Qui-Gon's chart. Hold on, I'm like, what's he showing me for frick? Let me see.
Yeah, so we had this impressive eruption, and then it did a check like 3 times at the 0.5 there. That was a bit messy, but it was still a check. That was a cleaner check, and then another clean check with the 0.5, and then got this bounce. And just like Bitcoin recently, you're getting this revisit to the previous high, which is arguably like a swing fail,
Swing fail, but took out the right ear on the cat, so that's a positive. So now if you take the bottom of that 0.5 to your top, you take your range from there, you should bounce from it and swing back up. No, not from there, from local. All those green candles on the right. Oh, you do
ones.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just going to take it there.
Yeah.
So it could, you could potentially get it to come back and check. Even like it may come down and and check that before coming up again.
Boom.
Yeah. And that would
could be a
actually
nice
line
swing.
up. Look at that. Look at the little evidence here and also here of that level being checked again.
Beautiful.
We've got 3 levels of confluence. Him, and also him. So it's a resistance here, it's a support here, and it's a 0.5 here. So 3 reasons.
What if
why
you drew that
level-
line across the entire chart on, let's say, a daily?
See if it.
And see where it hits.
See if it.
'Cause that's
comes
pretty
into
damn
contact.
accurate on that zone there.
Yeah.
Let's
So
see
it's like
how good that
It's like
shit
rough.
is.
It's roughly. It's 15.5 cents basically. But let me just
Okay.
make it a different color. Go orange.
Let's
Make it
call it
bolder.
15.5 then.
Is there any? Whoop! There's a bit
Oh.
almost there.
And there. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. That's a good reaction point, actually.
It's not too bad. Yeah, it's probably like a comfortable level.
That's
Let me
it.
go to the 4 hour. Is there anything in the far past? Nah, because we haven't been up here in a long time. So, but if we go back on the daily, this is 2021. Wow, 2021 was so explosive for so
Epic.
many things. Yeah.
Okay, but look, we're back at those numbers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, oh yeah,
Like,
we're up high.
we're not-
Tron's. Yeah, it's been strong.
Beauty.
Beauty.
I mean, what do we do with it now?
Yeah. I'm gonna.
I guess we wait for that interruption.
Yeah. I wanted to test something with YouTube's.
I got a question for the Australian.
What's happening? Oh, yeah.
Rick,
30.
have you ever heard of scary birds in Australia?
Scary birds. No, I haven't. I've heard of Angry
They're
Birds, the game.
No, what they are
Scary
they're
birds?
fake birds. Well, they're decoys that you put on a pole and they like fly to scare away the cockatoos.
Oh, okay. I haven't. No, I've never heard of them.
Because you guys have cockatoos in Australia, right?
We do. Yep.
Yeah.
Getting them recently as well.
They've got cockatoos.
What do they eat? And what do they eat? Do they fuck the plants up?
Yeah, they
Big
eat,
cock.
like,
They
they
eat
eat like
cock.
fruit
Sorry.
and berries and nuts and stuff like
That
that.
that sounds
They're a
horrible.
parrot. They're in the parrot family, cockatoos.
Yeah, it's like a kite that's stuck to the ground, but it's shaped like a bird. It's on a pole. On a pole.
That's cool.
It's actually quite
Yeah,
smoky
check it out.
this morning. I'm gonna show YouTube's my camera.
You might need a cockatoo. You might need a cockatoo for your tomatoes.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean,
I
it's-
gave my friend a pot plant like 2 months ago, and he's never grown anything. And
So-
he says
well-
in his country, you put banana peels in water for 48 hours, and you like turn it around and stir it, and then you use that water for your plants, and apparently it's absolutely amazing for the plants. Banana peels,
It's cool.
potassium.
All right. Does this? I wonder if this camera app lets me select a source.
All of a sudden, you've got banana tomatoes.
Oh yeah, it is
Hey.
working. Cool. So can you see that camera app coming across? Like if I,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I mean, we see the video.
Yep. Excellent.
Oh, shit.
Because I've got everything on auto exposure, but I've got this lens here is a 55 to 250 millimeter zoom lens, Canon. So I'm gonna put that on.
Okay.
I'm gonna take this off for a second.
On what?
On my camera, on this camera. So when I take it off, it's
On
just gonna go white. Or like,
You know,
On the
pretend
phone.
you're talking to a baby when you talk about these things, so that we can actually understand what you're doing
okay.
when we're not like inclined
Yeah.
on that type of stuff.
I'm switching to a zoom lens, which
Yeah.
lets me see further with the camera.
And you're using a camera, like
Yeah.
a normal camera.
It's
Like
a
a-
DSLR camera, which means it's like a more professional camera, not just
Yeah.
like an iPhone. It's like actually
Okay.
specifically designed for taking like high quality photographs.
It's like the click type, right? You click it.
It is.
Take a picture.
It's got a flash on it. It's like a click clack type camera. Yep.
Perfect.
You just mount it.
So you're using that as the eye, basically, as a camera. That's beautiful.
Yeah. Let me find something.
Was that shit expensive? Because that quality is ridiculous, bro.
Yeah, not really. It wasn't that expensive. The camera was like about $1,200, and then the lens I bought on Facebook Marketplace for like 150. So
yeah, that's expensive for me. That's expensive for me, Rick.
Yeah, you can get cameras that are below $1,000 that do probably similar quality.
Remember, I'm 30% down right now.
It's a bit hazier today. You see those mountains up in the distance?
That shit, your shit is unreal, bro, for real.
And then see that house? Oh, there's a house up on the hill too. There's a house up there. But it's way hazier than yesterday. There must be some.
That tree looks like it's a hand right in front of you. It's got fingers. Look at that right there. Oh, when it was out of focus, it looked like a thumb and 4 fingers. Yeah.
Mr. Grinch.
Okay, I'm gonna lock in on that house over there. I just want to see if I can like dial in
Mr. Grinch and me.
Imagery.
If you can zoom in the room, you are a spy.
You are a spy.
If you could zoom in the room.
Let's go manual mode. And
my eyes.
I'm gonna turn off the autofocus.
What's happened?
Yeah, it's the
see the light.
It's because I'm going manual.
Look away from the light.
With the exposure and the shutter speed. So after I zoom in, I can inch in closer like that. Go even closer, and then just find the target, which is over here.
I got old school binoculars that could probably see as far, no? It's a question.
What? Binoculars?
Binoculars?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Do they see as far? Like
potentially, yeah. It depends on the focal.
They were my grandfather's, like way back, man.
This looks like some Bigfoot footage.
Look at the heat waves. You see the waviness?
Yeah, off the roof.
It's the firmament. It's all around us. It's just one big layer of water.
Birds. Oh, there's someone in the like yard or something. Can you see him? Bottom left.
The black spot.
No, there's birds flying up over the house.
Oh, I love that.
There's like a white shape in the backyard, like in the field, to the left of the house.
So you are not a spy.
I think it's a person, man. God.
You can't zoom in any closer.
Look at that haze though, like that heat haze. Nah, that's as close as she goes, man. Until I get a better quality.
You are not a spy.
You can't enhance it at all?
No. That's as handsome.
Well, you can if you snap the screen now and you zoom into your own picture.
Yeah. But watch that blog.
Oh God, you are so annoying, you and your stupid wife pictures all the time.
How hot is it out there? What's the temperature?
Can YouTube see my mouse? I think that's a person.
Oh, that's not your wife. That's fantastic.
That's a lot of heat haze. Look at that. That's crazy.
Heat haze.
How hot is it out there?
Let me see. Brisbane current temperature.
32 degrees.
The house looked a lot more detailed when it was you were doing it the other day.
Yeah, I know, because there was no smoke in the atmosphere. It's very smoky right now.
And the waves, the heat waves. Look at that shit. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's dancing around. It's currently 27 Celsius. 27 Celsius.
Ah, that was very off.
Which is getting worse. 81 Fahrenheit.
Listen, if they don't understand what Celsius is, it's a problem.
gonna see
Okay.
if there's any roads up there. With like
Doesn't
cars.
always have to revolve around the United States of America.
Go this way. Let's see if there's any interesting shit.
We fucking rule the world.
Fucking A! I am Canadian.
Time for another doobie. Let's go.
Mine's almost finished. I need to roll another one. I'm just fucking lazy to do it.
There's like this big bald spot on the mountain. Like you can see.
Oh, that's a
there's
cool view right there. With the shadows
hills.
of the trees.
Yeah.
Can you tell that the wait? Oh man.
Yeah.
Is that the shadow? Is that the shadow of the tree?
Yeah, underneath.
So the sun is dead on top of the tree right now,
Yeah,
right? Like
it's
it's
right overhead.
right up top of the tree, right
That's 'cause
overhead.
It's,
Yeah, overhead.
It's 10:57, so we're about an hour off
Almost
midday.
noon.
Yeah.
Got you.
Why are you
Let
shaking
me
so much?
brighten up the picture a bit.
Stop shaking.
Dude,
It's
it's the
impossible,
distance.
dude. He shakes naturally.
It's the,
You don't got a tripod?
Yeah, that's
Oh.
a tripod. You can see how much smoke is in the air. It's very hazy. I can't cut that haze out.
It was
Dude, it's that.
better when it stopped moving.
Dude, it's that the camera is zoomed in so far that like any sort of tiny little micro movement looks
that was a
really
bad-
dramatic.
Yeah, you
Yo,
can see
that
it,
heat shit is crazy though, bro. Look at everything's
I know.
dancing.
Everything's dancing.
Let's go look at something a bit closer.
Not
like
amazing.
This tree here is cool. Like when you zoom up on it. Obviously, I have to adjust the focus.
Why am I sitting on a 1 hour chart here, waiting for the tail?
That last view you had, it looked like
45
something
minutes.
like when they go to war and they shoot the missiles out the drones. That shit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Dude, I really need this thing to happen.
I need to do. Blah, blah, blah,
Look
blah.
at that
I hope it does
quality,
for you.
bro.
I mean, we're starting it.
Woof.
Definitely starting it. I hope it pops. Yeah, that is nice quality right there.
Yeah. Let me see.
You found any
Branch.
kangaroos?
There might be.
Not on the tree.
You found any live animals?
That's a
not on the
branch
tree,
right there.
I need something like. I need a munchie.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, man.
We hear you.
Yeah,
Hi.
there's no animals at this time of day. They're all hiding from the sun.
My friend. How you doing? 6 chargers going with 6 different batteries, and if one of them catches
Yo,
fire,
are
we're
you
gonna
guys
be in
done
trouble.
romancing, man?
Who's bromancing?
You and Rick.
No. Why? No. I'm bored
We're just playing around with
and
mechanics.
tired.
I
So
can
this
hear
is
I
perfect.
can hear kookaburras. Should probably go out.
But
and
now
see
I
if
need
can
munchies, so
catch 'em.
give me a minute.
There's kookaburras out there somewhere. Let's see if I can find them. Let me go autofocus. There's a plane in the air. See if I can track it.
How close is your neighbor next door?
Close. Like 50 meters away. It's probably about 80,
Let's look into their house.
about 100 feet.
parking neighbor is fucked, man. She's fucking hot and she doesn't know how to park.
Say that again, cooler.
There's another bird. Focus, actually, and then we focus on him. Yellow eyes. Lifting up his tail feathers.
That's a big old fat red candle on BTC.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What kind of bird is that, Rick?
It's called a noisy miner. Noisy miner. And M-I-N-A, not M-I-M. M-I-N-O-R.
That's a cool looking bird.
Yeah. Noisy miner.
What kind of noise does he make, Rick?
Noisy. That's what they call noisy
You can't
miners.
imitate them?
They're really annoying. Nah. I think it would sound ridiculous and not accurate.
You gotta be able to. You gotta be able to. That's what he sound like?
You gotta do it.
You can do it.
You can do it.
I've never heard him before.
They're like really annoying.
Yeah. That's pretty dope. What is that? That's the same bird?
So it's another noisy miner.
That motherfucker looks bad. You know, right? He probably got a deeper voice.
I think that's a baby, maybe. I don't know.
They're beautiful though.
Noisy miner. So if I type it in the YouTube chat, noisy miner, M-I-N-A, noisy miner. They got the orange beak, the yellow eyes, and then grey feathers with like a sort of like a smoky ash on their face color. Yeah, they spend a lot of time harassing other birds. Like they'll harass them in groups. They'll chase them down and get in their face.
I just saw my brother in a video and he was like, "Are we watching National Geographics?" I didn't know, it's his camera. I was like, damn. And you gotta save. Can you save clips?
Have to save clips. Yeah.
Yeah, like now, like shit like this is kind of dope as shit. You know what I mean,
I don't know what he's doing with his feathers, but yeah,
cleaning himself. They clean themselves.
he's scratching the crap out of his head.
I never seen a bird scratch his head like that.
You have now. Yeah, he's getting them feathers all straight.
Hey, my brother wants to ask you a question.
He must have had a rough night.
Have you ever seen a baby pigeon?
Oh yeah, sure I have.
Yeah. Has anybody ever seen the baby pigeon like walking around with the adult pigeons?
I haven't, to be honest. I don't think I have.
Nobody in the world has ever seen a baby pigeon.
50-50 chance.
I can hear right now a kookaburra. I should see if I can go find him. connect to the group via my phone so that I can leave the computer and walk outside with the camera. Oh, that bird flew away. Yeah. He probably heard me coming.
That bird flew over the cuckoo's nest.
Yeah.
Oh, he's gone.
Yeah, he disappeared. I'm gonna have to go find some more nature.
Yes.
Nature Watch with Rick. Australian.
Rick down under.
Australian wildlife.
It's more like a bromancing with Rick. From the Rick
Yeah. All right. So I guess mute the video if you're on my stream. Like you can turn the stream audio down because then you'll hear me. You won't hear me twice. This cable doesn't stretch forever, so I'll have limited range to go out. But I'll see what we get. See if there's anything around. Whoop. Let me go back that way, turn autofocus on. Get the exposure back up.
Terrible Mr. Bird. He's gonna be upset. We gotta find another one.
That big old gum tree went all the way up there. Look, there's a house behind there too. And I think that's a road up there, like a public road. Right up on the mountain up there. Where is it? Yeah, there. I reckon if we're lucky, I don't know about lucky, but like if I get the lighting right, we'll be able to see a car drive along that road all that way.
How far?
Remember how oh, I mean, look how far back we are behind the balcony. And then when I zoom in, no idea. I'll find out later, but it's pretty far.
2 miles?
It's a while away. Okay, let me go zoom in tighter. Tighter again. Look at all those dots. I don't know what they are. But you'll probably see a car drive along there at some point. I think that's a ridge line to a road. Sorry about the wobbling, I'm just getting into position. Just not a lot of people out and about today.
What is that, a big ass wall?
Yeah, I think so.
Is that a cemetery?
I'm not sure what all those dots are. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Cemetery. You ain't never been over there? You lived there your whole life? You never went?
Oh, look, there's a car. It's down a level.
I see it. But you ain't never drove over there your whole life?
Never. Oh, no, I have. I've been on that side. I don't remember seeing the dots.
Hey, yo, Ozzy.
Yeah.
What beer you like? What beer?
Look, there's a car. That was a motorbike, I think. So it's below the dots.
Yeah, the dots are shiny though.
Let me, now that I'm in there, I can go autofocus off and then manually sharpen it up manually. I don't think it'll get much sharper than that, but you should see some cars driving by.
No, I see the cars. I see two right there, white and red.
Yeah, bro. That's ages away. I'll get you a distance. I'll measure the distance right now.
That's got to be that might be solar panels, bro.
Yeah, it could be. Maps. Let's
That
go
is
Google
solar.
Maps. I'm not going to dox myself, so I'll keep it on my other monitor. But we're looking across. Where is that? It's like there's a naked hill with trees on it, and then there's like this section with dots all over it.
Hey, Rick, I showed my brother. I said, "What are these white things?" He said, "Tell Rick to get a better camera."
Classic. I don't know what the white dots are, man. No idea.
It's a lot of them. They're shiny. They got to be solar panels, bro.
Yeah, they're like glistening and shit. Let's go Google Earth instead of Maps. Google Maps is different to Google Earth. Google Earth shows more. Okay, Brisbane.
That looks like a big parking lot.
Yeah.
It looks like crops in a field.
Yeah, it could be.
Like that though, that's crazy that it's shining like that.
Like each one of them's in like a white plastic bag or something.
Yeah, it could be.
There's some
like
big. It would be some big ass bags, bro. Those are
like
big.
Like it's a rehabilitation site, like where they're rehabilitating the
What about where like all the little houses for baby cows?
Oh yeah. Where is that ridge? Good question, man.
3 of those dots were as long as a car, so that's a big ass plastic bag.
Yo, Rick, you have it wrong. That's the red light district of fucking your area, man. That's all the shiny windows.
Right. There's a party over there.
The red light district. The white light district. Where the hell is that?
I don't understand how the hell
it
you
must be
that shit over there.
How is that even there? Like, okay, it's not showing up on the. Oh, hang on a minute. Could it be that? Oh, I can see some more cars driving over it. It's definitely like a. I think it's up here. I'm just looking on maps where it could be, like what it could be. I think it's this area.
You don't know if you're looking north, east, south, or west, or south and north. Your camera don't tell you.
Yeah, that's a southern view, basically. You guys are looking south, due south. And I think... Let me just move my mouse along the road. I think these images are taken... What is that? It's like a bald side of a mountain face. It's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I see the road above it too, right?
Yeah, there's like a dirt road up higher. Yeah.
I don't know, dude. That's wild. It definitely has to be some kind of crops, though, for real. Or solar panels, which I don't think really now, but some kind of crop.
I'm gonna wrap my YouTube stream up. Thanks for watching, YouTubes. I'll catch you in the next one.